Hey y'all, it's Amanda Jessup, certified strength and conditioning specialist, functional movement system specialist, and NeuroFit trainer, coming to you today with an awesome video on how to properly build your core. Okay, so when it comes to building our core, the function of our core is to stabilize our spine and keep this area rigid, right, as our limbs are moving. And as much as our big lifts like squats and deadlifts do work our core, we need a little bit more isolated work to really build it up. Of course, we all know the benefits of working our core: better posture, prevent injuries, and we're able to transmit force better when our core is nice and built from our lower to upper body. So having a strong core is going to help us in our main lifts. And finally, your core is responsible for resistant movement, which is why I like to choose my core exercise selection based on anti-movements. Okay, first method is called anti-extension exercises, okay? Your core is responsible from keeping your lumbar back from overly extending or arching, okay? So we don't want this posture, right? We want to be more neutral. So that's what these anti-extension exercises are about, and every lifter should be doing one form of these that I'm about to show you. Okay, so the first exercise are dead bugs. I'm sure you've heard of these. So this is the first anti-extension, okay? So I'm gonna get on my back here. I'm gonna pull my belly button into my spine, tuck my hips under so my low back is flat. Arms start above my chest, knees start above my hips. I'm keeping a 90-degree bend. My toes are pulled back towards my shins. From here, I'm gonna keep my ribs down, and I'm gonna inhale, exhale. I'm going to extend opposite arm, opposite leg. Notice I'm holding it out a little bit here before I bring it back in. Okay, so this whole time, your low back should stay flat on the floor. If it's not, you may be extending the leg too low for your fitness level. Okay, the next one is going to be a Swiss ball dead bug. So my arms are pressing against the ball into my knees. My knees are pressing back. Just that alone, I'm creating a ton of core tension here. From here is when I'm going to extend opposite arm, opposite leg. Again, I'm still creating tension with my right arm, left leg. Then I'm bringing it back, keeping that low back flat on the floor. You want to hold it out for a couple seconds. Okay, so there's tons of variations of dead bugs, so just be sure to work in at least one into your program. The next type of anti-extension exercises are planks, okay? Just regular planks, either on your forearms, on your hands. Of course, we can always vary that up a little bit, right? We can do planks with moving limbs, which I really like because you're really working on core stabilization. One plank that I think not a lot of people know of is called the RKC plank, okay? It's a plank where you're creating a ton of tension that really kind of contracts more muscles than a regular plank. So what I'm going to try to do from here is drag my elbows back to my toes, right? Now I'm creating this pressure movement towards the middle of my body where the core is. And you can see I'm shaking pretty hard here, right? Probably a lot more so than in a regular plank. So any type of plank or dynamic plank is an anti-extension exercise. Work in 3 to 4 sets, 6 to 10 reps, and you'll be good. Okay, the next type of core exercises you want to include in your core workouts are anti-flexion exercises, right? So we just did anti-extension with the planks and the dead bugs. Now we want to do ones that work on anti-flexion, so flexing the back. So not many people talk about this, but deadlifts, just good old deadlifts, are anti-flexion exercises if you do them right, okay? Because what happens is the weight wants to pull you down into flexion, right? But you've got to pack your shoulders down, reach that butt back. Now I'm in an anti-flexion position, staying in extension, okay? And then the ones that also come to mind are your kind of lower back extensor stomach exercises, like your Supermans, okay? So this is anti-flexion. We're trying to get more extension. So also include those types. Next type of core exercises is called anti-rotation exercises. My all-time favorite, one of my favorite core exercises is called a Pallof press. There's so many variations. First off, you want to start off doing them on the ground, then progressing and working up to standing. So you can use a cable machine, a resistance band, right? And from here, as I press this band out, it's trying to pull me this way, right? So I have to use my core to keep this band centered in front of my chest, okay? So I would press out, hold for about 3 seconds, bring it back in, okay? If I want to make it harder, I'm going to step away from the base. Now I have more pull here as I press in and out. And then after this are just harder variations. So this is a half kneeling Pallof press. So I'm adding a level of balance and stability now in the hips. So this is a little bit harder than being on both knees, okay? So we're holding out for 3 seconds and then bringing it back in. Last variation, I'm standing in a split stance. I've worked my way from the ground up, just like we do when we learn to move as a baby, right? So 3 second hold and then back in. Okay, last type of core exercise is anti-lateral flexion, meaning your core is resisting the movement of wanting to bend to the side, okay? So we do that by offsetting weight in a farmer's carry, okay? So one arm's gonna be out to the side to counterbalance. Now the weights wanted me to pull this way. So I needed to contract this side to keep my shoulders level. And then now I can do my farmer's walk. You're really gonna feel it on the side that doesn't have the dumbbell, okay? Another way to do anti-lateral flexion is with a band or cable system. So we did the Pallof press, okay, which is anti-rotation, so here. But now if I try to swing it overhead, it's wanting to pull me into flexion, right? So I have to use my right side obliques to keep it overhead and then back in, okay? So I'm combining anti-flexion, anti-lateral flexion, and anti-extension. So start working those into your programs. Would love to hear any feedback by commenting below. I do customized online fitness programs through the Everfit app. It can be a combination of written programs and live virtual sessions. Also, I have 2 programs now on Train Heroic focusing on mobility and recovery. So go check those out. I have the links below. Hope you all have a good Tuesday.